what does crossovers sound like?
Whew.
Being notified about. I keep forgetting things. My Facebook feed is worse than any nightmare I've ever had. I try not to go on there at all. I've had naps that have felt better than any experience in my life. I sat through 2 long adverts to watch a video of a man falling over on YouTube. I thought about all the other people falling over in the world.
Check, check, check. Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, check, check.
Do you think the idea of a collective is important? And if so, why? And what is a collective to you?
I mean, I think it is because me and Tam started it after almost a year of frustration of there being no inclusive shows at first for sound art students at Goldsmiths.
I mean,
but then also in the wider community.
Both of us decided to do the masters we're doing to meet people.
And we've only met each other.
It's also got a lot to do with London and Goldsmiths, and and also the department of music being quite atomizing, and lockdown and COVID
and strikes.
So it was a bit of a
I guess we kind of did it to help through that. Yeah.
So I spent half of the first year trying to do a gig at Goldsmiths for their Pure Gold Festival, and I only managed to get a slot in September of last year. And then I was like, oh crap, I think I need other people to perform as well, because I think I'll probably get 10, 15 people max in here. So then I asked Jess and Digital Roses, and then Jess basically just said to me straight after we did it, and it was quite good. It was fun, and it worked smoother than expected in some ways. But Jess came to me afterwards and was just like, we should do this every month.
So my first experience with crossovers was here at the Magic Pie House a couple of weeks ago. It was very cool. I saw some nice performances. I like the live coding visuals bit because I would like to get into that. So that was an interesting input in a way. And what else?
Why did you come the first time?
to support my friend Giulio, that's part of the collective. And yeah, actually it would be interesting for me maybe to join next year if I have more time after I finish my studies, because I would really like to do some audiovisual stuff with Max, such things. And yeah, I like the matchstick. It's a nice ambience in a way. It's an interesting space, and yeah, I like it. It reminds me of a club that I used to go in Barcelona. There was like also a little music space for people to just go and experiment in a way without barriers, and yeah, it's a nice way to explore stuff, I guess.
How important is that space?
I think it's for when we were like starting, it was good because it's kind of so affiliated with Goldsmiths that I think they have their own crowd as well, that they know that anything going on there is going to be good. And we obviously, that's why we had to pay for hire at first as well and everything. And we did a trial because they wanted to see if we were kind of right for them. But it's all volunteer run as well. So it's kind of in the same ethos as Crossovers. But I don't, and it's nice as a sharing space because it's chill and it's local to most people around here. But I don't think it's like, I love it, but I don't think it's like somewhere that we have to use forever. And like, it's not like where we were born.
Yeah, it's not synonymous with Crossovers.
Yeah.
But I think it's been kind of essential to have a space like that for like how we've started out. We kind of think of the like monthly event as like a sharing night more than like, this is a gig and you're going to come and pay money.
Yeah.
And you're the audience and we are the talent. Because like everyone in the audience, almost everyone in the audience is either a musician or an artist or a dancer or something. So like, there's no real hierarchy. Like the biggest success has been less the fact that we put on gigs and more the fact that like we've got these people like in the same room and having a good time together.
At the time, I've been thinking how I really wanted to try and take my music more live and into public places. So I didn't have anything prepared, but I was just like, if I say yes, then I'll have to prepare something. And I have, so yeah, I'm glad that I did.
I'm really enjoying the opportunity to collaborate more with live visuals. That's something that's been really exciting for me, especially. Yeah, it feels like an inclusive place to do that and to work with people I wouldn't have imagined working with before.
One of the key elements of doing a really good event is vibe with the right crowd. Like the crowd vibe is also very important, and like it's just such a good vibe, and like all the staffs and performers are also really like willing to share and very supportive.
Yeah, this has been quite interesting for me because I used to gig a lot before lockdown, and then I found it really hard to emerge again from that. And I felt like some of the connections I had were lost. But the really nice thing that's come out recently is like being part of Goldsmiths in that world and the experimental music scene. I'm loving that Spike can kind of fit on these bills that are sound art or sonic arts, and I find that space a lot more welcoming.
Basically, don't worry. Don't try to do too much, like I probably have. But yeah, like don't worry, because we've literally had like a cello and a synth droning on the same note for 25 minutes and people loved it. So, and yeah, people have done their first performances here, and it hasn't felt like that at all by what they've done. And people have improvised. People have done kind of research, like results of like research. If it wasn't crossovers, but like someone else had just asked me to do a gig, I probably wouldn't be trying this.
Are you thinking about the digital community being as important and as like equal as the physical in-person community?
I think it should be, because more people are kind of confident digitally maybe than in person. And I know I am, for one. But yeah, I guess it's hard.
The thing about Discord is that it actually has really good things to work around this. Like you can as a user, you can like make your side channels and stuff. But people aren't really proficient in Discord in the main in a way which they are in person. But then again, as you say, Jess, like some people are maybe feel less proficient in in-person interactions than online ones.
Yeah, which I think is why it's nice to have both. Even if one does better than the other, it still means it's accessible.
Hopefully the Discord can develop into being as sort of like a directory for people of different disciplines to find each other. When people are in the space, they're so keen. I think I kind of want that same feeling to be in like the digital space as well.
Yeah, and even the kind of physical space when we meet outside of the shows. And not to make it seem like the meetups are just for admin, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think people think it's probably just a plan for the next show or whatever. But it should be part of crossovers as much as the nights are.
Okay, where are we?
Set in Peckham.
And we're looking for a space for crossovers?
Yeah. A social gathering space that isn't a pub or cafe or anywhere with time restraints. Well, strict time restraints.
And what would how do you envision the space being used for crossovers?
I think as a space where you can get together socially to discuss crossovers and then potentially do like workshops and make it more accessible for people outside of Goldsmiths.
Cool. Shall we go in?
Let's do it.
What would you like to see for crossovers going forward?
I think it would be really interesting if it's not only connecting to people who is like present here. It will be really interesting to see how to have like people present here and like someone overseas performing together, like doing a hybrid performance. I think it would be very interesting.
Could be cool to maybe try like a longer event, maybe like a day thing or even like a festival where you bring in like even more acts, I guess. That could be cool. Maybe like a radio station could be a cool idea where people could like have a monthly slot and do shows, and it could have the same ethos of like anything goes kind of thing.
Some way of doing a not-for-profit monetization system, and definitely just something that no matter where the venue was, wherever the night was being held, people across London or wherever would go to it. So fame, I suppose, in a way, or infamy.
I was also thinking the other day it'd be quite nice if crossovers was a thing that people knew they could come to, maybe with like a lineup proposal.
People aren't yet comfortable with the idea that they can sort of like come on and be like, and just kind of use it as a resource to draw on.
I think it's more of something that I'd like the lecturers to tell new students about, to get involved in. Because it's kind of like based in South London, and most of the people that are part of the collective are either living in South London or have a connection to South London.
I want people to try things which they've always been scared to try.
So I guess like one learning point would be to keep it up regularly.
Yeah, it's like we kind of want to teach people enough that if we're not there, we can rely on everything going as well as if we were there.
It's literally just a platform for people to meet and like to help us keep it alive so that other people want to join it and do the same thing.